Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Napoleon Biggs from Web Wednesday. And come on up, Napoleon. And he's going to be interviewing first Shannon Buchanan from iDecorate. Shana Buchanan. So why don't you come up and join Napoleon here on stage. Thank you.
So you've heard of the Korean wave. We now have the Australian wave. They'll take another Australian, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Did you also start your business on a beach?
No, definitely.
Not on Hong Kong, Discovery Bay Beach?
No, absolutely not. No.
You've got more hair than the other Australians, so... Although I heard he had longer hair, like you.
The stress of a startup, perhaps.
So I was, I think it's really interesting when you look at people's Twitter profiles because they try and summarize what they do. And yours says, tech entrepreneur, misspelt, obsessed with making beautiful affordable, grateful, calculated risk taker, fearless leader, founder and CEO of iDecorate Limited. So tell us...
How's that for an intro?
That's it. We can stop the conversation now, can't we? That you all know about her. So tell us, you're obsessed with making beautiful affordable. We live in a city where beautiful is not affordable.
Correct.
In most of Asia, beautiful is actually, expensively adjusted by surgeons in Seoul. So tell us what you're doing.
So I guess if I could start from the beginning, I bought my first investment property when I was 18 years old, and I became obsessed with decorating. That was back in 2001. And I became obsessed with decorating and went through this process of pinning out all these different magazine tears and...
this is before the days of Pinterest.
Correct. So I was, ripping out all these different pictures from magazines and collecting all these different images, then trying to go to the store and find products to suit my budget. Found myself at IKEA, like most young people. And that was sort of the start, I guess, of my interest in interior design and decorating. And then I went down the corporate route.
So you saw there's no money in interior design and become a banker.
And I had this idea that I'd get all the tools in my tool belt. So I went down and worked for Red Bull. I worked in real estate, just all various jobs whilst I was at uni. Then studied law and finance, went down the banking route. And I kind of worked out fairly quickly that banking wasn't for me, or finance wasn't for me.
But people only do that after they've put $300,000 plus US dollars in their bank account, and they go, banking's not for me. Well, I don't really enjoy this very much.
No, I was investing in property instead, if you like.
Okay.
So, that was actually a smart move for me because it allowed me to move to Hong Kong and start iDecorate. So the inspiration for iDecorate really came from a lifelong journey and a frustration of not being able to find products that I would see in magazines or on the internet. So what iDecorate does is we have created a platform where people can create digital mood boards. So like a stylist or an interior designer might create a physical mood board where they'll take pictures of the carpet or the dining room table or all the different types of fixtures and furnishings, and they'll present it to a client. Well, I thought, how do we take that process and how do we digitize that and how do we bring styling to the masses? So with iDecorate, we've created the world's first platform where you can actually drag and drop images of your living room or if you're styling an event of the venue, and then you can drop the products that we source and we sell onto your style board, and then you can click buy and you get all the products.
So is it a bit like, there's an app I use called House?
It's a little bit like that.
Double Z.
I keep seeing these apps coming up, which kind of tap into the same behaviours that we are tapping into.
But you started it in Hong Kong, right?
I did.
So did you develop it here as well?
We did.
Did you develop it in Cyberport?
No, I didn't. No.
Off the stage. So why did you come here? You're Australian. Most Australians go to London or America. Why Hong Kong?
Well, my
We've got tiny apartments.
Yeah. Well,
lots of room to decorate.
Therein lies the opportunity, actually. But I came to Hong Kong. My sister's been here for 10 years, so that was the first reason. But when I first arrived, it became very apparent to me that Hong Kong has such an entrepreneurial culture and spirit, and it's actually really, for us, a key competitive advantage because of obviously the proximity to Asia. So we source from tiny little factories far and wide that most of the big retailers like Target and things won't travel to. And the reason we do that is so that we can negotiate with our suppliers so that they only sell us very small quantities at the same prices that they sell to the big guys.
So you're sourcing here, but your market is where? Where are the buyers?
When we first started, we were selling predominantly in Australia, so most of our customers came from Australia, with the intention to sort of grow and expand into the UK, US. The Australian dollar has since, collapsed dramatically, and we then learnt really last year and changed strategies that the opportunity really is Asia. So it's the emerging urban consumer throughout this region. And so now we're actually exploring and purchasing from outside of Asia as well. We've got our first shipment coming from Denmark, and surprisingly, the prices from Europe are comparable to prices in China.
So you're saying there's a change in habit, because I know when IKEA and B&Q from the UK launched in Hong Kong, B&Q failed because nobody likes to decorate their own houses in Hong Kong. That was the theory. You just buy it and they come and assemble it for you, right? So you're saying that's changing. You're seeing people here, not particularly in Hong Kong, but saying, I want to buy special products from Europe, from Australia.
Absolutely. And the key for us is we're not just a company that sells products. We have to be the style leaders. We have to set the trends. We have to build that audience, and for that audience to look to us for advice. So that's where digital marketing is such a key component of our strategy. In that we hope that more and more people will turn to iDecorate as top of mind when.
So it sounds like your product is perfect for social media. So if you're looking at, you've got a global business, how do you recruit customers? Well, what are you finding as the most effective way to do it?
It's certainly a mix of, say, social media, and then also we're trying to build a community of like-minded people that share and pin similar to Pinterest. So, for example, when you create one of our boards, we can feature it on our site, and then it gets featured on other people's social media. So it's really about building a community of like-minded people. As well as obviously digital advertising and EDMs, I think are really important. Blogs are really important. It's just a multifaceted.
So how big is your team here now?
We've now got 4 staff here, 2 in Australia, and a Facebook SEO specialist.
And this is still done off your own funding? You haven't tapped into any of these folk?
We actually did a seed. Yeah, we did it not in Hong Kong. We did a sort of an angel, a seed round from friends and family. Most of those investors came from Australia. We've met with a couple of investors in Hong Kong, and actually this week we've been successful in raising some funds, so we're starting again in tapping the market in Hong Kong.
So you're in Hong Kong and you're saying that you're seeing a trend for Asians. Have you got yourself into China yet? Are you iDecorating.cn?
We've actually had quite a lot of exposure where our product images are being used in magazines all around the world. So in the last 6 months, we've seen Elle in Shanghai and all these different magazines downloading our images.
What do you mean downloading your images?
So we've got a resource where journalists can download our images and use them in publications.
Of compiled decorated rooms or
all of our products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So from there, we're sort of we certainly know we're getting more interest from particularly the publishers, but we haven't had a sale in China yet. But I've had an inquiry this week from Wales. We've had quite a few sales out of the UK.
I had a mate who was a hairdresser, and he designed an apartment in Shenzhen to look like a London flat with Union Jacks and a real dog.
Yeah.
The buyer came in and said, 全部都要了, which in English means I'll buy the whole thing. So, including the dog.
Yeah.
So there's a trend in China. They're trying to buy personality.
Right.
My theory is they're trying to buy personality. Doesn't mean they don't have personality, but they're buying an identity. So I think you're tapping into something there if you can bundle it.
Absolutely. And our strategy to really break into China will be to find opinion leaders and ambassadors and interior designers that we partner with and that basically help to spread the word for us. And localization, I think, is really important throughout Asia. So it's also finding local suppliers in each of the markets and great products, and then celebrating artists out of Shanghai or designers out of Shanghai and put them on the platform so they do the work for us.
So are you evolving more into a kind of B2B model than the consumer? Because getting those consumers on board is a lot of work, and keeping them is even more work. Or are you more of a tool for a designer, you know, and an interior designer and an architect to use to on-sell his or her services?
It's a real mix. Our revenue to date has been 50-50 from B2B and from B2C.
So you actually have a B2B service?
We do.
Okay.
And we get invited to style things and source things for different sort of high-profile companies. But that's just another revenue stream, which is great. But we really see the opportunity is to B2C. Yeah. So.
So how if I come to your site, how do I pay and how do you make money?
You just basically drag the products onto onto your starboard, and then you just click buy, and it's pay by your credit card.
And then when does the product arrive? Does it come on a big truckload of? 7
to 10 business days.
You'll deliver.
Yep.
Interesting. And you're making money now?
We are. Yep.
Breaking even?
We are breaking even.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you see this? A lot of these things have started on the web. Have you migrated into mobile very quickly, or did you start on mobile and gone to web? Because that kind of decoration thing, a lot of people do it through tablets and things like that. Right?
Yeah, our platform has been completely custom built. So the platform itself is highly complex, and we haven't quite cracked the mobile sort of strategy yet. Polyvore is a similar platform to us, which was it's started out of the Valley by some ex-Google people, and they've built a very clever app. So we've got now some options as to whether we decide to build an app or whether we just continue to use our mobile site for people to tag, and put into their wish lists. But I still think that most people, when they're buying for their home, want to buy from a desktop. So
because
I can see the products more closely. So they like to sort of browse quickly, which they can do on our site, and they can save the items into their profile. But then when they want to make the final decision, I think they want to really get a better look at what the product quality is like.
Excellent. Thank you. Round of applause.
Pleasure.
Very good. Very interesting.
I'm inspired to go on the site and decorate away.
What is the URL, by the way, just in case?
iDecorateshop.com.
iDecorateshop.com.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.